Every morning, your mind is waiting for instructions. The words you repeat before the world reaches. You can either strengthen your confidence or reinforce your doubts. Change your morning conversation with yourself, and you begin changing your habits, your decisions, and ultimately your destiny. The quality of your life is shaped by the quality of your daily thoughts. Each morning offers a fresh opportunity to direct your mind toward purpose instead of distraction, growth instead of excuses, and discipline instead of comfort. The simple statements you choose to repeat become the foundation of your actions throughout the day. In this video, you'll discover 10 powerful things to tell yourself every morning that can build resilience, sharpen your focus, strengthen your character, and create lasting success. Intentional day at a time every morning before you check your phone, before you listen to the opinions of others, and before the demands of the day begin to compete for your attention, take one quiet moment and tell yourself, today is a new opportunity, and I choose to make it count. That simple decision has more power than most people realize. Your life is not built in giant leaps. It is built in ordinary mornings. Every sunrise gives you something priceless that money cannot buy, a fresh beginning. Yesterday may have been filled with mistakes, disappointments, missed chances, or moments when you doubted yourself. But today does not belong to yesterday. Today belongs to the choices you make right now. Many people wake up carrying the weight of old failures. They replay conversations they wish had gone differently. They think about opportunities they missed. They focus on what they cannot change instead of what they still can. As a result, they begin a brand new day with an old mindset. And when your thinking stays trapped in the past, your future cannot grow. Instead, train yourself to see each morning as a clean page waiting to be written. The story is not finished. The chapter is not over. As long as you are alive, there is another chance to improve, to learn, to forgive yourself, and to move one step closer to the person you want to become. Think about a farmer planting seeds. The farmer does not stand in the field complaining about last season's weather. He focuses on today's soil, today's effort, and today's planting. He understands that tomorrow's harvest depends on what he does today. Your life works the same way. Every thought you choose, every habit you practice, and every action you take is a seed. Some seeds produce confidence, others produce fear, some grow into discipline, others become regret. The future you experience is often the result of the seeds you plant every morning. This is why your first conversation with yourself matters so much. If you wake up saying, "Nothing ever works for me," your mind begins searching for evidence to prove that belief. If you wake up saying, "I have another opportunity to grow today," your mind starts looking for possibilities instead of problems. Your thoughts become the lens through which you see the world. This does not mean pretending life is easy. Difficult days will still come. There will still be setbacks, criticism, and unexpected challenges. But a positive mindset is not about ignoring reality. It is about deciding that reality will not control your attitude. You may not control every event, but you always have influence over your response. Imagine two people who lose the same job. One immediately believes life is over. He spends weeks blaming others, feeling defeated, and waiting for someone to rescue him. The other allows himself to feel disappointed but refuses to stay there. He updates his skills, reaches out to new connections, learns from the experience, and keeps moving. They face the same situation, but they chose different responses. Over time, those responses create completely different futures. Life rewards responsibility more than excuses. Excuses may provide temporary comfort, but they never create lasting progress. Responsibility can feel difficult at first, yet it gives you something far more valuable. It gives you control. The moment you accept that your daily choices matter, you stop waiting for perfect conditions. You begin creating better conditions through consistent action. Each morning, ask yourself a few simple questions. What is one thing I can improve today? Who can I encourage today? What habit will move me closer to my goals? These questions shift your attention away from what you lack and toward what you can build. Remember that confidence does not appear before action. Confidence grows because of action. Many people wait until they feel ready before they begin. But readiness often comes after the first step, not before it. The first workout feels difficult. The first presentation feels uncomfortable. The first business idea feels uncertain. The first attempt at any worthwhile goal usually feels imperfect. That is normal. Progress belongs to those who keep moving despite uncertainty. Small actions have incredible power when repeated consistently. Reading 10 pages every morning may not seem impressive today, but after a year, your knowledge has expanded dramatically. Saving a small amount of money each week may seem insignificant, but over time it becomes financial stability. Speaking kindly to yourself each morning may feel simple, but eventually it changes how you see yourself and how you face challenges. Never underestimate the impact of consistency. Great lives are rarely built through one extraordinary moment. They are built through thousands of ordinary moments handled with purpose. Every morning you choose discipline instead of delay, gratitude instead of complaint, and courage instead of fear. You strengthen the person you are becoming. There will be mornings when motivation is missing. You may feel tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed. On those days, remember that commitment is more dependable than emotion. Feelings change from day to day, but your values can remain steady. Keep showing up. Keep taking the next small step. Even slow progress is still progress. Also, remember to be patient with yourself. Growth is not always visible. Just as roots grow underground before a tree reaches toward the sky, your character is often developing long before others notice the results. Do not quit simply because success is taking longer than you expected. The strongest foundations are usually built quietly. Surround yourself with thoughts that lift your spirit instead of draining it. Fill your mind with ideas that encourage learning, responsibility, gratitude, and hope. The voices you listen to repeatedly become part of your own inner voice. Choose carefully what you allow into your mind each day. At the end of every evening, you will either be thankful that you used your opportunity or wish you had. That decision begins the moment you wake up. The morning is more than the start of another day. It is the beginning of another chance to become stronger, wiser, kinder, and more disciplined than you were yesterday. So when tomorrow arrives, do not let the past introduce itself before you do. Stand up with purpose. Speak life into your own mind. Choose growth over comfort, action over hesitation, and hope over fear. One intentional morning can change one day. One intentional day can change a year. And enough intentional years can completely transform a life. Your next opportunity is waiting. Welcome it with courage. Use it with discipline and make today count. Every morning, before your day begins to unfold, look yourself in the mirror and say, *, I am responsible for the direction of my life. These words may seem simple, but they hold the power to completely transform the way you think, act, and grow. Responsibility is not a burden. It is freedom. The moment you stop waiting for someone else to change your circumstances, you discover the incredible strength that has been inside you all along. Too many people spend years hoping that luck, perfect timing, or someone else's approval will change their lives. They wait for better opportunities, better relationships, better finances, or better conditions. While they wait, time quietly moves forward. The truth is that your future begins to change the moment you decide to take ownership of your present. Life is not always fair. Some people begin with more opportunities than others. Some face obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. Some experience failures they never expected. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can always choose how you respond. That response becomes the foundation of your character. Imagine two students preparing for the same important exam. One spends weeks complaining that the test is too difficult, the teacher is unfair, and there isn't enough time. The other accepts that the exam will be challenging, but focuses on studying every single day. Both face the same situation, but only one accepts responsibility for the outcome. When the results arrive, their daily choices become visible. This pattern appears everywhere in life. One person blames their health on genetics, while refusing to exercise or improve their eating habits. Another begins walking every morning, drinks more water, makes healthier food choices, and gradually becomes stronger. The difference is not perfection. The difference is ownership. One employee spends years criticizing the company, complaining about coworkers, and believing success belongs only to others. Another uses every assignment as an opportunity to learn, improve skills, and build trust. Eventually, one remains stuck while the other continues growing. Responsibility changes everything because it shifts your attention from excuses to action. Excuses are attractive because they protect our pride. They give us temporary comfort by convincing us that nothing is our fault. But comfort without growth eventually becomes frustration. Every excuse delays the life you could be building. Think about a person who wants to start a business. Every year they say, I'll start when I have more money. I'll start when I have more confidence. I'll start when everything is perfect. Years pass and nothing changes. Meanwhile, someone else starts with limited resources, makes mistakes, learns valuable lessons, improves step by step, and slowly builds something meaningful. The second person was not luckier. Simply accepted responsibility for beginning before everything felt certain. The same principle applies to personal growth. You do not become confident by wishing for confidence. You become confident by keeping promises to yourself. Every time you complete a task you said you would do, your self-respect grows. Every time you choose discipline over delay, you strengthen your belief in your own abilities. This is why your morning mindset matters so much. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can this situation teach me? Instead of saying, someone should fix this, ask, what can I do to improve it? Instead of thinking, I hope today is a good day, decide, I will make the best of whatever today brings. These small shifts may not seem dramatic, but they gradually reshape your identity. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and begin seeing yourself as the author of your daily choices. There will still be challenges. Responsibility does not remove difficulty. It gives you the strength to face difficulty with purpose. Consider an athlete training for a competition. There are mornings when the body feels tired and motivation disappears. Skipping practice would be easy, but champions understand something important. Progress is built on the days when discipline replaces emotion. They do not expect every workout to feel exciting. They simply remain committed to the process. Your life works the same way. There will be mornings when you do not feel like reading, exercising, working on your goals, or learning something new. Those are the moments when responsibility becomes your greatest advantage. Feelings may change every day, but your commitment can remain steady. Another important lesson is accepting responsibility without becoming overly critical of yourself. Taking ownership does not mean blaming yourself for every setback. It means honestly asking, what part of this situation can I improve? There is always something you can learn. Sometimes the lesson is about patience. Sometimes it is about preparation. Sometimes it is about choosing better habits or better relationships. Growth begins where honesty begins. If you avoid the truth, you avoid improvement. But when you are willing to admit mistakes without giving up on yourself, every setback becomes valuable experience. Each evening, reflect on your day. Ask yourself simple questions. Did I use my time wisely? Did I keep my promises? Did I learn something new? Did I treat people with kindness and respect? What can I improve tomorrow? These questions are not meant to create guilt. They are meant to create awareness. Awareness leads to better decisions, and better decisions create a better future. Remember that responsibility is contagious. When you become dependable, people begin trusting you. When you consistently do what you say you will do, opportunities naturally increase. Employers value reliability. Families value consistency. Friends value honesty. Leadership begins long before anyone gives you a title. It begins when people know they can count on you. Do not wait until everything feels perfect before taking ownership of your life. Begin exactly where you are. Improve one habit. Keep one promise. Learn one new skill. Help one person. Save one small amount. Read one chapter. Take one courageous step. These small actions may seem ordinary, but repeated every day, they create extraordinary results. Years from now, your life will not simply reflect your dreams. It will reflect your daily decisions. Responsibility turns dreams into plans, plans into actions, and actions into lasting success. So every morning, remind yourself that you are not powerless. You are not defined by yesterday's mistakes or today's obstacles. You have the ability to choose your attitude, your effort, and your direction. Take ownership of your life with courage. Embrace every challenge as a chance to grow. And remember this, the greatest transformation begins the moment you stop waiting for change and become the person who creates it. Every morning, before the noise of the world begins to fill your mind, tell yourself, asterisk, I am stronger than my excuses. Those few words may not seem powerful at first, but if you truly believe them and live by them, they can change the course of your life. Excuses are quiet. They rarely announce themselves as obstacles. Instead, they disguise themselves as reasonable explanations. They whisper, you can start tomorrow. They say, you're too tired today. They convince you that waiting is smarter than acting. Little by little, they steal your time, your confidence, and your dreams. The problem is not that we all have excuses. Every human being does. The real question is whether we allow those excuses to become stronger than our goals. Think about how many opportunities are lost because someone believed they needed perfect conditions. A person wants to get healthy but waits until next Monday. Someone dreams of writing a book but says they need more inspiration. Another wants to start a business but keeps waiting for the perfect amount of money. A student delays studying because there is still plenty of time. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and eventually months become years. The dream remains exactly where it started, inside the mind instead of becoming reality. Now imagine another person with the same challenges. They are busy, they feel uncertain, they do not know every answer. Yet they decide to begin anyway. They exercise for 20 minutes instead of waiting for 2 perfect hours. They write 1 page instead of waiting for the perfect idea. They save a small amount of money instead of believing they need a large income before becoming financially responsible. They study 1 chapter each evening instead of waiting until the night before the exam. Neither person had perfect circumstances. The difference was simple. One listened to excuses. The other listened to purpose. Success rarely belongs to the most talented person in the room. More often, it belongs to the person who keeps showing up after everyone else has stopped. Excuses offer temporary comfort, but they create permanent disappointment. Discipline may feel uncomfortable today, but it creates lasting confidence tomorrow. Every time you overcome an excuse, you prove something important to yourself. You prove that your decisions are stronger than your emotions. You prove that your future matters more than your temporary comfort. You prove that you are becoming someone who follows through instead of someone who only talks about change. This is how confidence is built. Many people think confidence comes before action. They believe they must feel brave before taking a risk. In reality, confidence grows after action. It develops each time you keep a promise to yourself. Imagine deciding to wake up 30 minutes earlier every morning. The first few days may be difficult. Your bed feels comfortable. Your mind suggests sleeping a little longer. But if you choose to get up anyway, something begins to change. Not only have you gained extra time, but you have also strengthened your self-respect. You begin believing that your words have value because your actions support them. That is the hidden reward of discipline. Every small victory over an excuse creates a stronger version of you. Life will always give you reasons to quit. There will be days when progress feels slow. There will be moments when people doubt your goals. Some mornings you will wake up feeling tired. Other mornings you may question whether your hard work is making any difference. Those moments test your character. Anyone can stay committed when everything feels easy. Real growth happens when you continue despite discomfort. The strongest trees are not created during calm weather. They become strong by surviving storms. In the same way, your character becomes stronger every time you refuse to let difficulty decide your future. One of the most dangerous excuses is believing that small actions do not matter. People often underestimate the power of consistency. Reading 10 pages a day may seem insignificant, but after 1 year, you may have finished dozens of books. Saving a little money each week may seem too small to matter, but over time, it becomes financial security. Walking every morning may not transform your health in 1 week, but after months of consistency, your body, energy, and confidence begin to change. Great achievements are usually the result of ordinary actions repeated with extraordinary consistency. You do not need to change your entire life today. You only need to win today, focus on today's decisions, choose today's workout, complete today's assignment. Keep today's promise, make today's phone call, learn today's lesson. When you live one disciplined day at a time, remarkable years begin to take shape. Another excuse many people believe is that failure means they are not capable. This belief stops countless dreams before they ever have a chance to grow. Failure is not evidence that you should quit. It is evidence that you are trying something difficult. Every successful person has experienced disappointment, mistakes, rejection, and setbacks. What separates them from others is not that they avoided failure. It is that they refuse to let failure become their identity. When you fall, do not waste time criticizing yourself. Learn the lesson, make the adjustment, and keep moving. Growth belongs to people who remain teachable. Also remember that your environment influences your excuses. Spend enough time around people who complain constantly, and complaining begins to feel normal. Spend time around people who take responsibility, solve problems, and pursue growth. And you begin adopting those habits yourself. Protect your mind every morning. Feed it ideas that strengthen courage instead of fear. Fill it with gratitude instead of comparison. Choose conversations that inspire progress instead of encouraging excuses. At the end of each day, ask yourself one simple question. Did my excuses lead my actions today, or did my purpose? Answer honestly. That question alone can transform your future because awareness always comes before improvement. The life you dream about will not appear because you wished for it long enough. It will appear because you became the kind of person who refused to surrender to comfort, delay, or self-doubt. So tomorrow morning, before the world tells you who you should be, remind yourself who you choose to become. Tell yourself that your dreams are bigger than your fears, your purpose is greater than your excuses, and your commitment is stronger than your temporary emotions. Every time you choose action over hesitation, discipline over comfort, and persistence over surrender, you are building a life that reflects your highest potential. Your excuses may speak every day, but they only win if you decide to listen. Choose growth, choose courage, and prove to yourself that you are stronger than every excuse that has ever tried to hold you back. Every morning, before you begin chasing goals, completing tasks, or solving problems, tell yourself one powerful truth. Asterisk, I choose gratitude over complaint. These words may sound simple, but they have the ability to reshape your mindset, strengthen your character, and completely change the way you experience life. Gratitude is not about pretending that everything is perfect. It is about recognizing that even in the middle of challenges, there is always something valuable to appreciate. Every single day gives you a choice. You can focus on what is missing, or you can focus on what is still possible. You can spend your energy complaining about what you cannot control, or you can invest that energy into building a better future. Many people believe happiness comes after success. They tell themselves, I'll be grateful when I earn more money. I'll appreciate life when I reach my goals. I'll enjoy my days once my problems disappear. But life rarely works that way. If gratitude always depends on perfect circumstances, it will always stay just out of reach because every new level of success brings new responsibilities and new challenges. True gratitude begins long before life becomes easy. Imagine waking up every morning and immediately thinking about everything that is wrong. Maybe the weather is bad. Maybe work feels stressful. Maybe you compare your life to someone else's success on social media. Before the day has even started, your mind is already carrying unnecessary weight. That negative focus affects your attitude, your decisions, and even the way you treat the people around you. Now imagine a different beginning. You wake up and remind yourself that you have another day to grow. You appreciate the opportunity to breathe, to learn, to improve, and to spend time with people you care about. You acknowledge that life is not perfect, but you also recognize that it still contains opportunities, lessons, and blessings. Suddenly, your perspective changes. The circumstances may be the same, but your mindset becomes stronger. That is the quiet power of gratitude. It does not always change your situation immediately, but it changes the way you approach your situation. And when your attitude changes, your actions begin to change as well. Think about two coworkers facing a demanding project. One spends every day complaining about deadlines, difficult tasks, and the amount of work required. The other recognizes the challenge but chooses to see it as an opportunity to improve skills, earn trust, and become more valuable. At the end of the project, one feels exhausted by negativity, while the other has grown in confidence and experience. The work was the same. The difference was perspective. Gratitude helps you notice opportunities that frustration often hides. Life will never be free from problems. Every person carries responsibilities, disappointments, and unexpected obstacles. The goal is not to eliminate every difficulty. The goal is to become the kind of person who refuses to let difficulties steal joy, purpose, and hope. There is an important lesson that many people overlook. Gratitude and ambition can exist together. Being grateful does not mean becoming satisfied with mediocrity. It simply means appreciating where you are while continuing to work toward where you want to be. You can be thankful for your current job while preparing for a better career. You can appreciate your current knowledge while continuing to learn. You can value your present life while still dreaming about a brighter future. Gratitude keeps your heart grounded while ambition keeps your feet moving. Without gratitude, success often feels empty because you constantly focus on what you have not achieved yet. With gratitude, every milestone becomes meaningful because you recognize how far you have already come. Think back to a time when you prayed or hoped for something you now take for granted. Perhaps it was your education, your health, your family, your home, or simply another chance after a difficult season. Over time, familiar blessings often become invisible. We stop noticing what once meant everything to us. That is why gratitude should become a daily habit instead of an occasional emotion. Each morning, take a few moments to identify 3 things you are thankful for. They do not have to be extraordinary. Perhaps you are grateful for another sunrise, the ability to work, a supportive friend, or the opportunity to improve yourself. These simple reflections train your mind to notice abundance instead of scarcity. The more you practice gratitude, the more naturally it becomes part of your character. Another powerful benefit of gratitude is that it weakens comparison. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to lose peace. There will always be someone with more money, more recognition, more possessions, or more achievements. If your happiness depends on having more than everyone else, you will never truly feel content. Instead of comparing your life with someone else's highlight moments, compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. Celebrate your own progress. Every lesson learned, every habit improved, every fear overcome deserves recognition. Your journey is unique, and your growth should not be measured by someone else's timeline. Gratitude also transforms relationships. People naturally enjoy being around those who appreciate them. A simple thank you, sincere encouragement, or genuine expression of appreciation can strengthen friendships, families, and workplaces. Many relationships do not fail because of major conflicts. They weaken because appreciation slowly disappears. Never assume people already know how much they matter to you. Tell them, encourage them. Show kindness while you still have the opportunity. Life moves quickly, and gratitude expressed today is always more valuable than gratitude delayed until tomorrow. There will still be difficult seasons. Some mornings will test your patience. Some days will bring disappointment. During those moments, gratitude becomes even more important. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what can I learn from this experience? Every challenge carries a lesson, even if you cannot see it immediately. Often, the strongest people are not those who avoided hardship. They are those who found reasons to remain thankful while walking through it. Your mindset determines whether obstacles become walls or stepping stones. Gratitude helps you see stepping stones where others only see barriers. As each day comes to an end, reflect on the moments that made it meaningful. Maybe you solved a problem, helped another person, learned something new, or simply kept going when quitting would have been easier. These moments remind you that progress is happening, even when it feels slow. Tomorrow morning, before worries try to capture your attention, make a different choice. Begin your day with appreciation instead of frustration. Speak gratitude before you speak doubt. Focus on possibilities before focusing on problems. When you consistently train your heart to appreciate what you have while working faithfully toward what you desire, you create a life filled with greater peace, stronger relationships, clearer purpose, and lasting fulfillment. Gratitude will not remove every challenge, but it will give you the strength, wisdom, and perspective to rise above them. And that is where true transformation begins. Every morning, before you allow the world to define your mood, remind yourself of one powerful truth. Asterisk, today I will take action, even if it is only one small step. Those words may not sound dramatic, but they carry the power to change your future. Great lives are not built through occasional moments of brilliance. They are built through consistent action, repeated day after day, especially when no one is watching. Many people have incredible dreams. They want to build successful careers, improve their health, strengthen their relationships, start businesses, write books, or become better versions of themselves. The problem is rarely a lack of dreams. The problem is that dreams often remain trapped in the mind because action never follows. A dream without action becomes nothing more than a wish. Think about how many people spend years saying, one day I'll do it. One day I'll start exercising. One day I'll learn a new skill. One day I'll save money. One day I'll begin my business. One day I'll stop wasting time. But one day has a way of turning into not today. And before they realize it, years have passed. Now imagine someone else with the same dream. They don't wait for perfect motivation. They don't wait until they feel completely ready. They simply begin. Maybe they read 10 pages instead of finishing an entire book. Maybe they walk for 20 minutes instead of running a marathon. Maybe they save a small amount instead of waiting until they earn more. Their progress looks small in the beginning, but every small action creates momentum. Momentum is one of the most valuable forces in life. When you take one positive step, the next step becomes easier. Action creates confidence. Progress creates motivation. Success grows from movement, not from endless planning. Many people believe they need motivation before they can act. In reality, action often creates motivation. Think about the mornings when you didn't feel like working out. The hardest part was putting on your shoes. Once you started moving, your energy increased. The same is true for studying, working, writing, or learning something new. The beginning is usually the hardest part. That is why your morning decision matters so much. When you wake up, tell yourself, I don't need to finish everything today. I only need to begin. Beginning breaks the power of procrastination. Procrastination rarely announces itself as laziness. It often hides behind thoughts that sound reasonable. I'll start when I have more time. I'll wait until I know more. I'll begin after things calm down. But life rarely becomes perfectly organized. There will always be another challenge, another responsibility, another reason to delay. The people who achieve meaningful success are not those who waited for perfect conditions. They are the ones who learn to take action despite imperfect conditions. Imagine a builder constructing a house. The builder doesn't wait until every brick is delivered before laying the first one. The house is built one brick at a time, day after day, piece by piece. Your life is built exactly the same way. Every workout is one brick. Every chapter you read is one brick. Every dollar you save is one brick. Every act of kindness is one brick. Every promise you keep to yourself is one brick. Eventually, those small bricks become something extraordinary. Too often, people underestimate the value of small improvements because they cannot immediately see dramatic results. But consider planting a tree. For weeks, it may appear that very little is happening. Yet beneath the surface, roots are spreading, becoming stronger and deeper. Only later does visible growth begin. Personal growth follows the same pattern. There are seasons when your efforts seem invisible. You study, practice, work hard, and stay disciplined, but the results appear slow. During those moments, many people give up because they mistake slow progress for failure. Do not make that mistake. Growth is happening even when you cannot immediately see it. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you become stronger. Every time you choose learning over entertainment, you become wiser. Every time you choose action over excuses, you become more capable. Your character is being built long before your success becomes visible. Another important lesson is understanding that perfection is the enemy of progress. Some people refuse to start because they fear making mistakes. They want every plan to be flawless before taking the first step. But perfection is an impossible standard. Every expert was once a beginner. Every successful person once lacked experience. Every achievement started with imperfect action. Mistakes are not signs that you should stop. They are signs that you are learning. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. No one expects to balance perfectly on the first attempt. Falling is part of learning. Yet adults often expect themselves to succeed immediately in other areas of life. When they don't, they become discouraged. Instead, give yourself permission to improve gradually. Celebrate progress instead of demanding perfection. Every small improvement matters. The same principle applies to your daily habits. Do not underestimate the impact of reading a few pages each morning. Do not underestimate a short walk. Do not underestimate spending 10 focused minutes learning a new skill. Do not underestimate writing one paragraph. Do not underestimate making one important phone call. These actions may seem insignificant today, but consistency multiplies their value over time. One of the greatest mindset shifts you can make is to stop asking, how far do I have left to go? And start asking, what is my next step? Life becomes much less overwhelming when you focus on today's responsibility instead of worrying about the entire journey. You don't need to solve your entire future today. You only need today's faithful effort, today's honest work, today's disciplined choice, today's courageous action. Success is rarely created by one giant breakthrough. More often, it is created by thousands of ordinary decisions made with extraordinary consistency. There will be mornings when you feel discouraged. You may question whether your effort is making any difference. Those are the days that matter most. Continue anyway. The days when you don't feel like showing up are often the days that strengthen your character the most. Remember, your future self is depending on the choices you make today. Every positive decision is an investment. Every disciplined habit earns interest. Every action moves you one step closer to the life you imagine. Do not let fear convince you that your efforts are too small to matter. Small actions repeated consistently have changed countless lives throughout history. When tomorrow morning arrives, make yourself one simple promise. I will move forward today. It doesn't matter how small the step may seem. Progress is still progress. Refuse to let hesitation steal another opportunity. Refuse to let perfection delay your purpose. Keep planting the seeds, keep laying the bricks, and keep taking the next step. One day you will look back and realize that the extraordinary life you built did not begin with one giant leap. It began with one small, faithful action repeated every single day. That is the power of consistent action, and that is how lasting success is created. Every morning, before you step into the responsibilities of the day, pause for a moment and tell yourself, asterisk, I will protect my mind because my thoughts create my future. This simple statement has the power to transform the direction of your life. Long before your actions shape your results, your thoughts shape your actions. Every achievement, every habit, every decision, and every change begins in the mind. Your mind is like a garden. Whether you realize it or not, something is always growing there. If you intentionally plant seeds of discipline, hope, courage, and purpose, those qualities begin to flourish. But if you allow fear, negativity, doubt, and resentment to grow without resistance, they slowly take over. The garden does not decide what grows. The gardener does. In the same way, your mind becomes a reflection of what you consistently allow into it. Many people spend more time protecting their money than protecting their thoughts. They carefully choose where to invest financially, yet they carelessly allow negativity, endless complaints, unhealthy comparisons, and destructive opinions to fill their minds every single day. Then they wonder why they struggle with confidence, peace, and motivation. Your thoughts are an investment. Every conversation you listen to, every piece of content you consume, every belief you repeat to yourself becomes part of the person you are becoming. Imagine waking up every morning and immediately reaching for your phone. Within minutes, you're comparing your life to someone else's success. You see perfect vacations, expensive cars, successful businesses, and carefully edited moments that make your own life seem small. Without realizing it, comparison begins replacing gratitude. Doubt begins replacing confidence. Discouragement begins replacing hope. Now imagine starting your morning differently. Instead of filling your mind with distractions, you spend a few quiet minutes reflecting on your goals. You read something that challenges you to grow. You remind yourself of your values. You choose thoughts that build strength instead of weakness. The day hasn't changed, but your mindset has. And when your mindset changes, your decisions begin to change. This is why protecting your mind is one of the greatest forms of self-discipline. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your belief. Not every criticism deserves your emotional energy. One of the most valuable skills you can develop is learning to filter what enters your mind. Consider a professional athlete preparing for an important competition. They don't spend the night before the event filling their mind with fear or listening to people who constantly tell them they will fail. They focus on preparation. They visualize success. They review their training. They strengthen their confidence because they understand that performance begins long before the competition starts. Life works the same way. Every challenge you face is influenced by the condition of your mind. If your thoughts constantly tell you that you're not capable, you'll hesitate before taking opportunities. If your thoughts tell you that failure means you're finished, you'll avoid risks that could change your life. But if your thoughts remind you that every challenge is a lesson and every setback is temporary, you'll develop the courage to keep moving forward. This doesn't mean pretending negative thoughts never exist. Every person experiences fear. Every person experiences self-doubt. The difference is that mentally strong people don't allow those thoughts to become permanent residents. They acknowledge them, challenge them, and replace them with better ones. Imagine standing in front of two doors every morning. Behind one door is fear, comparison, excuses, anger, and worry. Behind the other door is gratitude, responsibility, discipline, learning, and hope. Every day, your attention opens one of those doors. The thoughts you feed become the life you experience. Another important lesson is understanding that your environment shapes your thinking more than you realize. Spend enough time around people who constantly complain, and eventually complaining begins to feel normal. Spend enough time around people who refuse to grow, and growth begins to seem unnecessary. Spend enough time around negativity, and optimism starts feeling unrealistic. But the opposite is also true. Surround yourself with people who value honesty, discipline, kindness, and learning, and those qualities begin influencing your own life. Choose relationships that challenge you to become better, not relationships that encourage you to remain comfortable. The books you read matter. The conversations you have matter. The videos you watch matter. The words you repeatedly speak to yourself matter. Everything entering your mind is either building your future or quietly weakening it. There is another habit that strengthens the mind: learning to replace worry with preparation. Many people spend hours imagining everything that could go wrong. They create problems that haven't happened and may never happen. Their energy is consumed by fear instead of action. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" ask, "What can I do today to prepare?" Preparation creates confidence. Knowledge reduces uncertainty. Action weakens fear. You cannot always control tomorrow, but you can always improve today. Your inner dialogue also deserves careful attention. Listen to the way you speak to yourself. Would you speak to a close friend the same way you sometimes speak to yourself? If you constantly call yourself incapable, unlucky, or a failure, your mind begins accepting those labels. Instead, become your own source of encouragement. Remind yourself that you are learning. Remind yourself that progress takes time. Remind yourself that every expert was once a beginner. Encouragement is not pretending you're perfect. It's refusing to define yourself by temporary mistakes. One failure does not make you a failure. One bad day does not define your future. One setback does not erase your potential. Your mind believes what you consistently repeat. This is why morning affirmations are valuable when they are supported by action. Don't simply tell yourself you're disciplined. Practice discipline. Don't simply tell yourself you're courageous. Choose courage. Don't simply tell yourself you'll succeed. Build the habits that make success possible. Thoughts become powerful when they guide consistent action. At the end of each day, ask yourself what you allowed into your mind. Did today's conversations inspire growth? Did today's choices strengthen your character? Did today's habits move you closer to your goals? Awareness creates improvement. The stronger your mind becomes, the less control fear, criticism, and temporary emotions will have over your life. Remember that the greatest battles are often won or lost long before anyone else sees them. They are won in private moments when you choose hope instead of despair, discipline instead of distraction, and purpose instead of comfort. Tomorrow morning, before the world competes for your attention, choose to protect your greatest asset, your mind. Fill it with thoughts that inspire action, relationships that encourage growth, and ideas that strengthen your character. Guard it from unnecessary negativity. Refuse to let fear become your guide. And remember that every great life begins with a well-directed mind. When you master your thoughts, you gain the power to master your choices. When you master your choices, you begin to master your future. And that is where true transformation begins, one intentional thought at a time. Every morning before the demands of the day begin pulling you in different directions, look at yourself and say, asterisk, I will become better than I was yesterday. Asterisk, this is one of the most powerful promises you can make because it shifts your focus away from competing with others and places your attention where it truly belongs, on your own growth. One of the biggest traps in life is comparison. Every day, people measure their lives against someone else's success. They compare their income, their appearance, their career, their possessions, and even their happiness. They look at someone else's achievements and begin to believe they are falling behind. But comparison is a race with no finish line. No matter how much you achieve, there will always be someone who appears to have more. The only comparison that truly matters is the one between who you were yesterday and who you are becoming today. Imagine climbing a mountain. If you spend your entire journey watching other climbers, you'll constantly feel discouraged. Some people started closer to the top. Some move faster. Some have better equipment. But none of that changes your path. Your responsibility is to keep climbing your mountain one step at a time. Life works exactly the same way. Your journey is unique. Your experiences are unique. Your challenges are unique. Your purpose is unique. When you stop competing with everyone else, you free yourself to focus on becoming the strongest version of yourself. Growth is rarely dramatic. Most of the time, it happens quietly. It's found in the decision to wake up a little earlier. It's choosing to read instead of endlessly scrolling through your phone. It's speaking with patience instead of anger. It's saving money instead of spending impulsively. It's finishing the task you wanted to postpone. These moments may seem ordinary, but they are shaping your future. Many people expect transformation to happen overnight. They become discouraged because they don't see immediate results. They start a healthy habit for 1 week and expect a completely different body. They study for a few days and expect instant mastery. They work on a business for a month and expect instant success. Real growth doesn't work that way. Think about a sculptor creating a masterpiece from a large block of stone. The sculptor removes one small piece at a time. Each strike of the hammer may seem insignificant, but over time the hidden masterpiece begins to appear. If you only watched the first few minutes, you might think nothing important was happening. But every small effort mattered. Your character is shaped the same way. Every disciplined choice removes a little more doubt. Every lesson learned removes a little more ignorance. Every challenge overcome removes a little more fear. Little by little, the person you were yesterday begins to disappear, and the person you are meant to become begins to emerge. One important mindset shift is learning to appreciate progress instead of demanding perfection. Perfection is impossible. Progress is achievable. If you wait until you feel perfect before believing in yourself, you will spend your entire life waiting. Instead, celebrate improvement. Maybe today you exercised for 15 minutes when yesterday you did nothing. Maybe today you controlled your temper when yesterday you reacted emotionally. Maybe today you saved a small amount instead of spending everything. These victories matter. Never underestimate small improvements, because small improvements repeated consistently become extraordinary achievements. There is another lesson that many people overlook. Growth often feels uncomfortable. Learning new skills is uncomfortable. Changing habits is uncomfortable. Taking responsibility is uncomfortable. Leaving your comfort zone is uncomfortable. But remaining the same eventually becomes even more uncomfortable. Imagine a seed buried in the ground. Before it becomes a strong tree, it must first break through the darkness of the soil. That process is not easy. Yet without that struggle, the seed would never experience sunlight or growth. Your life is no different. The challenges you're facing today may be preparing you for strength you cannot yet see. Instead of asking, why is this difficult? Begin asking, what is this teaching me? Every obstacle contains a lesson. Every disappointment develops resilience. Every setback offers wisdom if you're willing to learn. The strongest people are not those who avoided hardship. They are those who allowed hardship to shape them into wiser, stronger, and more compassionate individuals. Another key to becoming better each day is building intentional habits. Success is not an event. It is a lifestyle. The person who reads every day gains knowledge others overlook. The person who exercises consistently builds strength over time. The person who manages money wisely creates financial stability. The person who practices kindness earns trust and respect. These habits may seem small individually, but together they create a remarkable life. Ask yourself each morning, what is one thing I can do today that my future self will thank me for? It could be making an important phone call. It could be learning a new skill. It could be apologizing to someone you've hurt. It could be organizing your finances. It could be simply choosing not to give up. One decision can change the direction of an entire day. One disciplined day can influence an entire week. One focused week can transform a month. And enough purposeful months can completely change a lifetime. Don't be discouraged by how far you still have to go. Instead, be encouraged by how far you've already come. Think back to challenges that once seemed impossible but are now part of your past. At one point, you doubted whether you could handle them. Yet here you are, stronger because you kept moving. That same strength still exists inside you today. Another important truth is that becoming better also means becoming better for others. Your growth is not only about personal success. When you become more patient, your family benefits. When you become more disciplined, your coworkers notice. When you become more generous, your community becomes stronger. When you become a person of integrity, you inspire others without even realizing it. Personal growth creates positive influence. The better you become, the more value you can bring to the lives around you. At the end of every evening, don't ask whether you were perfect. Ask whether you improved. Did you learn? Did you grow? Did you remain faithful to your values? Did you become even 1% better? If the answer is yes, then you are moving in the right direction. Never let impatience convince you that slow progress isn't meaningful. The tallest buildings are constructed one floor at a time. The strongest friendships are built one conversation at a time. The greatest achievements are accomplished one decision at a time. Your future is being shaped by today's small improvements. So tomorrow morning, stand in front of the mirror and remind yourself that your only competition is the person you were yesterday. Refuse to measure your worth by someone else's journey. Focus on your own growth, embrace every lesson, welcome every challenge, and commit to becoming just a little better every single day. Those small improvements may seem invisible at first, but one day you'll look back and realize they quietly transformed your confidence, your habits, your relationships, and your entire life. Keep growing, keep learning, and never stop becoming the person you were created to be. Every morning, before the world fills your schedule with distractions, expectations, and endless demands, tell yourself one simple but life-changing truth. Asterisk today, I will live with purpose. These words are more than a positive affirmation. They are a commitment. They remind you that your life is too valuable to be lived by accident. Every day is an opportunity to make choices that move you closer to the person you want to become. Many people wake up and immediately react to life. They check their phones, respond to messages, rush through their routines, and spend the rest of the day putting out fires. Before they realize it, another day has passed. They were busy, but they were not intentional. They were active, but they were not moving toward anything meaningful. There is a difference between being busy and being purposeful. Being busy simply means your time is filled. Being purposeful means your time is invested. You can spend an entire day working hard and still make little progress if your actions are not connected to your deepest goals and values. Imagine an archer standing with a bow and arrow. If there is no target, even the most perfect shot has no real direction. The arrow may travel a great distance, but it accomplishes very little. Your life is the same. Without purpose, effort becomes scattered, energy is wasted, time disappears. But when you know what truly matters, every decision becomes clearer because you have a direction to follow. Purpose does not always mean having every detail of your future planned. It simply means knowing what kind of person you want to become and allowing that vision to guide your daily choices. Perhaps your purpose is to become a loving parent who raises children with integrity. Perhaps your purpose is to build a business that creates opportunities for others. Perhaps your purpose is to become financially responsible so you can help your family. Perhaps your purpose is to inspire people through your work, your kindness, or your example. Whatever your purpose may be, it gives meaning to ordinary days. Think about a construction worker helping build a school. One person may see only bricks, cement, and long hours. Another sees classrooms where children will learn, dream, and build better futures. The work is the same, but purpose changes everything. When you understand the reason behind your effort, even difficult tasks become worthwhile. That is why every morning should begin with intention. Before checking the world, check your own direction. Ask yourself, what is the most important thing I can accomplish today? Not 10 things, not 20 things. One meaningful action that brings you closer to your vision. When you consistently focus on what truly matters, your days become more productive and your life becomes more fulfilling. One of the greatest enemies of purpose is distraction. We live in a world filled with constant notifications, endless entertainment, and unlimited opportunities to lose focus. Hours disappear while scrolling through social media. Energy is wasted arguing about things that have no lasting value. Attention becomes scattered among hundreds of small distractions. The danger is not only losing time, the danger is losing direction. Every minute you invest should reflect what you truly value. This doesn't mean you should never relax or enjoy life. Rest is important. Recreation is healthy. But there is a difference between intentional rest and mindless distraction. Purpose teaches you to choose rather than drift. Another important lesson is that purpose often grows through service. Many people spend years asking, what can I get from life? A better question is, what can I contribute? The people who leave the greatest impact are usually those who focus on creating value for others. A teacher changes lives by helping students believe in themselves. A doctor serves by restoring health. An honest business owner creates jobs and solves problems. A parent shapes future generations through love and guidance. Even simple acts of kindness can become part of a meaningful purpose. Never underestimate the influence of encouraging one person, helping someone in need, or listening with genuine compassion. Purpose becomes stronger when it extends beyond yourself. There will be days when your purpose is tested. You may experience setbacks. Plans may fail. People may disappoint you. You may question whether your efforts matter. During those moments, remember why you started. A person who is deeply connected to purpose can endure temporary difficulty because they understand that today's struggle may be preparing tomorrow's success. Imagine a marathon runner nearing the final miles of a long race. Their body is exhausted. Every step feels difficult, but they keep moving because the finish line is greater than the temporary pain. Purpose gives you that same endurance. Without purpose, small obstacles feel overwhelming. With purpose, even great challenges become stepping stones. Another valuable habit is learning to say no. Not every opportunity deserves your time. Not every invitation deserves your attention. Not every conversation deserves your energy. When your purpose is clear, your priorities become easier to protect. Saying no to distractions often means saying yes to your future. You also need to remember that purpose is revealed through consistent action, not occasional inspiration. Many people wait to feel inspired before taking meaningful steps. But purpose grows stronger every time you act with discipline. Every page you write, every workout you complete, every promise you keep, every skill you improve, every person you encourage. These actions strengthen your purpose because they align your daily behavior with your deepest values. At the end of each day, ask yourself simple questions. Did I spend my time on what truly matters? Did my actions reflect my values? Did I make someone's life better? Did I move closer to my goals? These questions help you live intentionally instead of automatically. Remember that your legacy is not built in one extraordinary moment. It is built in ordinary days lived with extraordinary purpose. Years from now, people may not remember every word you spoke or every task you completed, but they will remember how you made them feel, the example you set, the integrity you demonstrated, and the difference you made through your daily actions. That is the power of a purposeful life. Tomorrow morning, before the distractions of the world compete for your attention, pause and remind yourself that your life has meaning. Refuse to waste your days chasing things that bring only temporary satisfaction. Choose actions that reflect your values. Focus your energy on what truly matters and let every decision move you one step closer to the life you were meant to live. When you wake up with purpose, work with discipline, serve with kindness, and remain faithful to your vision, you will discover that success is not just measured by what you achieve. It is measured by the person you become and the positive impact you leave on the lives of others. That is a life worth living. And it begins with one purposeful morning at a time.